Hey ladies, happy Friday. Okay, I've been having a lot of naps lately, I'm not gonna lie. This old pregnancy on the old 39-year-old is starting to add up. So today I was on fire first thing this morning, 5 a.m. and I sent out an email. I don't know if you got it. If you're not on my email list, you didn't see it, but let me know if you want to jump on there. But I wanted to talk about how we execute in our businesses. This is something that comes up over and over and over with the clients that I work with. And it was a major theme yesterday in some of my coaching calls. And what happens is we put so much time and energy into building out a process or building out a strategy or doing all the things that we need to do in our business. And then what happens is we don't see the instant gratification or the instant results that we want. And so basically we get 90% of the way there and then we think, I'm bored, or this isn't working for me, or I just need a new strategy, I just need something else. You're looking for a magic solution, and so you pivot and you go do something else. But you've left 90% of that work on the table. And so I wanted to jump in and just ask you in 3 categories. I want you to rate yourself. If you're watching the replay, jump in and say replay. 3 categories that I want you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in your life, in your business, and the relationship you have with yourself. So what do I mean by this? I mean, when it comes to executing and following something that you start all the way through to the end, what would you rate yourself in your life? So that would be something that you promised your kids or your husband or your friends or your family, or something that you're doing around the house. The majority of us really have that handled and we follow through with a lot of those things. But give yourself, just say life and then the number. And then next, go for business. So we all know that we have to generate leads, that we have to nurture them, and that we have to convert them into sales in order to have a business, right? So the things that actually are income producing activities is totally different than the learning part. You can learn for 10 years, but if you're not actually making offers or talking to real people about how you can help them, then you are literally not giving yourself the chance to make the kind of money that you want to make. So when it comes to like your visibility strategy, like your content, what you're putting out there on a consistent basis, when you're talking about your lead generation, are you hosting events? Are you going out and reaching out to people? Like, what is your consistent lead gen strategy, and are you doing it consistently? And then the other thing, of course, the fortune's always in the follow-up. So are you touching base with the people that you've already brought into your world, that you've already started a relationship with? And I don't just mean, like, I was saying this yesterday to one of my clients. Don't go back and talk to people that you have this icky feeling about. Like, if you didn't have good chemistry with somebody and you're starting to build a relationship with them, you don't have to follow up with them. I think the most beautiful thing about online business is that we don't have to work with people we don't like. So don't go back and follow up with people that you don't like, right? But mark yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 for how consistent are you with your income producing activities, the things that are actually going to move the needle in your bank account. Because a lot of us don't follow through on that stuff. Or we'll execute something 90% of the way, like I said, and then we give up and we go and we have to learn something else, right? We always think there's something else that we should be doing that will be the magic answer. And it's not true. But give yourself a grade between 1 to 10 on how well you execute in your business. Just be honest. And then the third thing, and this is the one that I actually think is the most critical, because we all want to become this person who receives the things that we want to have in our lives. But we forget that one of the key pieces, and this is the piece that I'm working on the most right now in my life, is the relationship you have with yourself. How are you actually executing? And what I mean by that is, how often do you make promises to yourself about something like exercise or personal growth or self-care or whatever it is? Like, are you going to start eating healthier? Are you going to start drinking more water? Are you going to drink less? Are you going to drink less coffee? Are you going to, whatever it is, like, you know what I'm talking about. You have these intentions and you set them, and then you automatically break those promises to yourself. And nobody's ever watching because it's all you and in your head, and you're the easiest person to let down, right? So when you go through and you give yourself a number from 1 to 10 on how you execute and follow through in your life, friends, family, with your business, with your content, with your lead generation, and with your follow-ups, building those relationships. And then third would be the relationship you have with yourself. What's the number that you would give yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 for how well you follow through and execute on promises you make to yourself? I think that the number on the third one is shocking, but I don't think it's actually shocking to you because you know that you break promises to yourself all the time. If you can relate to this, say yes, I absolutely know what you're talking about. So what does this all have to do with business? My mission is to help ambitious moms, ambitious female entrepreneurs. You don't have to be a mom. Candace, if you're watching, you can be a dog mom. It's okay. But my mission that I'm on is to help women build a business that lights them up, that makes them the kind of money that they always knew they were destined to make, while still allowing you to have time for your life. I am a mom of 3 and I have a 4th on the way, and I want to live my life and enjoy the shit out of it. You know what I mean? I think that's what we all want in the end. We want fulfillment, we want time freedom, and we want a lot of money. If that's not your jam, then this isn't the community for you. We can just be open about the fact that we want it all, okay? That's what I want to talk about today. So the point that I'm bringing up about execution sounds like a death, but I don't mean it that way. I mean, like, do you take action? Do you take massive action and see it all the way through? Because a lot of you are super confident and super capable people, but you're not actually seeing something all the way through. You set out a plan and you launch it all, and then you give up in the promotional period because you're not getting the feedback you want. Or you run a challenge and nobody bought after it. Who cares? Pick yourself up and do it again. You know what I mean? Maybe you didn't have enough people there. Maybe your offer sucked. It doesn't matter. You are getting feedback by your failure. Does that make sense? So when I'm talking about executing, it's like, are you seeing something 90% of the way through? All the successful 7-figure earners online will tell you that they did not magically make that money. They had to work for it. And that doesn't mean you have to burn yourself out 60 hours a week. It means you have to stay super focused on staying consistent and committed to one path until successful. So why I always talk about, like, find your fire, what lights you up, what excites you, what really gives you energy. That's what you build a business around. That's your zone of genius. It's not just something you're good at and you can make lots of money at. That's the other thing that I see all the time. If you are finding your fire, you can execute so much more easily. So the cost of not executing and seeing something through all the way is time, it's lots of effort, it's money, and it's the opportunity cost of how much money you could have been making had you just stuck with it in the first place. So this is like a little bit of a self-pep talk, but it's also something that I know that all my clients need to hear, and so I know that you girls would, you know, get some value out of this too. But, like, think about it this way. What is the cost of you not spending time working on the leadership piece in your business? And what I mean by that is, like, if you are the leader of your business, it means you make a decision and you see it through. So if you're not executing all the way and you feel like you're just on this roller coaster all the time, learning something new, the roller coaster is not just chasing shiny objects. The roller coaster is always this, like, emotional experience that we have. And the main reason for it is that we don't execute all the way through. You have to see it all the way through. Is this resonating with any of you? Please drop some comments. If I can see that a couple of you are on, but I can't see who it is. So let me know if this is hitting home. But I want to talk about the opportunity cost, because I think if I look back, like even years ago when I was in network marketing, it's like, had I gone all in and stayed on one strategy, I would have made a lot more money. And now that I'm in my business coaching side of things, it's like I pull all the experience I had from corporate and I pull all the online experience I got from network marketing, and then I combine that with what I actually love to talk about, which is leveling girls up. And if you're like 40 plus, I like to say girls, I'm 39, I still feel like a girl. But you know what I mean, ladies. It's like something that lights me up is talking about the big picture. How can we tap into what you're actually meant to do on this planet? You know, everyone talks about making income and impact, but, like, how do you actually create something tangible that you can market out of something that's intangible, right? I don't know how to explain what I do, but I try, right? I literally am very good at helping people break through to the next level that they need to get to in order to get what they want in their life and business. That's what I do. That's not really like, if you try to go to a traditional niching course, they're going to tell you, like, what's the problem that you solve? I'm like, I help women get off the roller coaster in online business so that they can get what they want in their life and business. What does that mean? That means I help them make a lot of money in less time. But also, you have to do the work, which means you have to execute. Is that coming full circle? Let me know if that's helping. So this is the piece that I wanted to just leave you with at the end of today for your Friday. Think about this weekend. What is the cost of you not working on this leadership, this massive action piece. And I don't mean massive action because I know you've gotten into massive action before, but then you quit too soon, right? You know you quit early. You quit on things. And this is another piece of the puzzle that I want to bring in really quickly though, is like, I know that you're a confident person. You know you're super capable and competent. You know that you can do anything. You can accomplish anything. I think that most of us have that confidence about ourselves, but we don't trust ourselves to know which direction to take. And that's a major part of leadership that we really need to address. So why does that matter for online biz? Well, the way you lead your business means the way you choose your foundations for your brand, your audience, and your sales process. Are you throwing stuff at me? You're crazy.
I will show you something.
It also matters when you choose your strategy for your visibility, for your lead generation, and your actual customer journey, how you're converting people into your programs, into your offers. And like every single piece of that, you can lay that out into an action plan and then start taking massive action. But if you don't actually see it all the way through, then it's just a total waste of your time. Hey, Charlene, I just saw you hopped in. Happy Friday. Okay, so let me just leave you with that for the weekend. Think about this weekend. If now is not the time to start working on the execution piece, then when is? It is the most important piece, and it is the thing that I see over and over with all my clients. How do you hold that energy of getting excited about your business, making a plan, going and doing something, and then not having the exact result yet? If you want exact results and you want return for your money per hour that you spend in your business, then you gotta go get a job. That's not what entrepreneurship is. If you start working one system and you keep at it and you see it all the way through, it will spit out dollar bills. I promise you that. So this is what I talked about a lot in my Business Breakthrough Challenge. It's going to be coming back right away here in a couple more weeks. You have to commit to one strategy, one path until you hit your 100 grand, and then you can add in a whole bunch of extras. So that means don't try to hit LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest all at the same time when you still don't even have a proven offer. You need an offer that is selling like a mofo.
Hi.
It's spring break, can you tell? You need something that is selling like a mofo. And for a lot of us, especially as coaches, that means you need to get into one-on-one coaching calls or conversations. I don't care if they're free or paid. You need to go start actually doing what you say you're going to do so that you have the clarity, the confidence, and the commitment to go all in on something so that you execute completely. That's how you lead your business. And I think that it's really important to lead your life and your relationship with yourself at the same time, because if you are out of balance with making promises to yourself, that doesn't allow you to trust that you'll get results for other people. And it doesn't mean that you have to be perfect by any stretch, but it means that you need to be leading from the front. I always say, like, you have to learn you learn, then you lead, right? So it doesn't matter if you're a PhD, you don't have to be, but you have to at least be a couple weeks into the course at university or whatever before you can actually teach somebody else something. So 2 steps ahead of somebody actually gives you an advantage instead of being 200 steps ahead. We all want to go and learn from 7-figure earners, right? I've signed up for programs, super expensive ones, from 7- and 8-figure earners. But they forget what it's like to be at the stage that I'm at. And so what I'm trying to find is like, well, who are my mentors out there who have just recently hit the multiple 6 figures? Red, stop it. He's playing with my chair now. Because it's really important for us to not just take somebody's framework, but for them to actually understand where we're at in our heads. I think that's crucial. So go and execute on something, or give me some feedback. Where are you struggling to execute? And what's coming up for you? I think that imposter syndrome comes up. Fear of failure. Even if I do all this work, is it even going to work? Yeah. All of those kinds of limiting beliefs start to come up for us when we get into this place where we get to the 90% of the way there, and then we stop and we hesitate on the last 10. And here's what happens when you don't execute and see it through all the way. You lose all the momentum that you built. So you might have 10 or 20 people who are about to jump into your group program, but you switched directions or you switched strategies and you went and started doing something else, and you got lost in the noise because they can't follow you. They're not going to keep jumping around trying to chase you around. You didn't see it through and you lost all of the money that was on the table. So go and figure out this weekend what it is. Where is an area of your life that really needs help with your leadership in terms of how you're going to execute and see something through all the way. Oh, for me, it's exercise. I do not like exercising. Anyway, so let me know in the comments, what is the one thing that you want to work on that you actually want to execute? I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, like, when is the time, if it's not now, to learn how to execute all the way in your business? You can make 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, and 7 figures, but the only way to get there is not by accident, and it's not by random scramble. You got to get off that roller coaster, and you got to get consistent. You got to stay clear on one path until you hit at least 100K. Then you can start adding other things in. Does that make sense? Have a great weekend, ladies, and we'll talk soon. Cheers.